Let me shift things over. All right. So we're going to get back to writing a little today. Just feeling like writing again. So let's go over a couple things. Last time... Nope. Other page. What's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping back again. I appreciate it. Last time, we were working on this, and it was done. We finished it. We did exactly what we wanted to do with this. So, I'm going to play it. It's just kind of a... It's been a little bit. It's been a couple of days since I've played through this. Probably like, it's been like 3-4 days, I think, since I've played through this. So, we're going to play through this again, and we're going to make sure that we don't want to change anything, okay, before we move on to the next project, which we've been kind of doing. But we're just going to kind of solidify that this is what we want to do. Okay. So, let's go ahead and just start playing through it. Sorry about the chair. So, I didn't play the melody exactly. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do about this chair, right? I'm just going to sit on the end of the chair. It makes more sense anyways. I can move my arms around more. So I didn't play everything exactly. The melody I kind of embellished quite a bit. But for the most part, I really like this. And any version of it that needs to be made, I think it could be cut down to anything that you'd want it to be. And I really, really like this. I'm glad with it. I'm proud of it. And even after a couple of days, just kind of letting it stew, coming back to it, I still like it. So I think this is a keeper. I think this is something we're going to keep for a while. So the second project, I don't know if you remember. So let's put it right there for you. The second project was a space travel-ish type of deal. Here's what we're going to do about this. We'll move this over. There we go. There, now you can see. Now this is just the rough copy of it, but this is just what I was talking about. So this has a lot of stuff going on in it. Okay? It's not laid out very well, and that's because we didn't come up with a layout. We just kind of came up with several ideas. Hold on. We came up with several ideas that I wanted to put in the song somewhere, but wasn't quite sure. Right? So what those ideas were was a continuing bass line that was doing something like this. Like that, right? Over top of that, was the main chord that I was going to play over top of everything, which was this. Essentially, it's an F diminished chord with E flat. So it's like you could say you can even say this is like an F7 chord, but I don't even know how you would describe this. I guess you could say it's like an A minor 6 with A flat in the bass, which would then make it major. But it's just kind of there because you don't know if it's minor or major. It's kind of unknown, and that's kind of the whole point. Wait, what? You talking about the scale? Just... like that? Okay. Anyways, so it doesn't sound major. It doesn't sound minor. It's just kind of there, and that's kind of the whole point of a lot of space music, is that it's just kind of unknown. There's a lot of suspended chords in space music because there's so much about space that we don't know, that it kind of makes sense that the music would kind of sound ambiguous and a little disconcerting, but yet not happy or not sad. It's just kind of there. So see how it just kind of doesn't sound major or minor? If I play it like this, just kind of out there. Oh, okay. I don't know that song, but... So that's kind of what I want to use as the basis of it. And then we had this middle part that was used as kind of a transition where it went like this. That's not... This keyboard changes how it sounds with how hard you hit. So if you go... I'm playing the same notes, it's just that I hit them at different... I attack them differently, so it changes the sound of it. So doing it wrong. Hold on. So like that, right? And that was just kind of this middle part. And then I kind of came up with this idea of but to me, that almost sounds like a completely different song. It almost sounds more sinister to that. And that's fine, man. However long you can make it, it's fine with me. Oh, jeez. almost would be like... It sounds better with this one. I was trying to see if I could do that with one hand. It's kind of tough. That sounds more sinister. That sounds more minor. So that could be something almost entirely different. And then this, which I gotta be honest with you, I don't remember this. What was this? I honestly don't remember playing this. Oh, you know what it was? It was the... Okay, so what this is... Okay. What these are these chords up top, but just playing them with one hand. So I can go... And actually it's... That's what it is. Okay, so it's most of those chords. It's there as like an underlying thing that you can use. So if I did this. Right, so. So you can kind of turn it into something, you know what I mean? Gives it something. So the main issue I'm having when writing this is how is this going to be structured, I guess? I just don't know, like, when things will come in, what things I want to keep, what things I don't. But we have to kind of try to give it a shot here. Right? Got to try to write some sort of final version of this. So we know for a fact it's in 3/4. It's in, technically, the key is in D flat major, but it's not really in D flat major. The chord that we're playing, you could say it's a D flat 7 chord, but that doesn't mean it's a D flat major. That would mean it being G flat major. I guess that's how you would define it. Is it D flat 7 with A flat in the bass? That's how I would say. That's how I would call it. Or D flat 9. D flat 9 with A flat in the bass. That's how I would describe the chord. I think to start the actual thing off, I do want this just coming and fading in here. So almost like a... I think I described this once before, but I want it to sound similar to... So you're on this ship, right, and you're sleeping, and you wake up to this. Almost as like an alert. You know, like when you get a message on your phone or something like that. That's what it's like. It's an alert. Right? It sounds a lot like... I was going to pull up like your typical... Like what's a pretty common like alert sound? Like everyone knows that one from, I think that's an Apple specifically. Even just like a Skype one, do deep, do do deep, do do deep. That's kind of what I'm doing here. It's like an alert, and you want it to be low. And as you're waking up, it gets louder and louder. And then eventually it kind of turns into... Now, until I start putting this into an editing software, we're not going to know anything about specific voices that I'll be using. Like, it won't be this electric piano sound. It'll be something different, right? It won't be that. But I want that underlying everything. So what we're going to do to kind of explain it to myself is we're going to just put like fade in with this. And I actually have it written out, even though I probably don't need it to be written out, but boo-doo. It's D flat, not E flat. Like this, and then this just kind of gets repeated over and over again, slowly fading in, right? And we could even put something like that to kind of indicate that it's starting off extremely quiet. Now we're actually starting to write in dynamic symbols. That's pretty neato. But it starts off very just, you can barely even hear it. And meanwhile, while that's slowly fading in, and that continues on, maybe we can have another line going on as well. So. It might be a little too high, though, up in the register. Something else going on. Probably also with some sort of just underlying this. You know, something like that going on underneath all of it. So, let's see one of these. Let's do this. So something really building up with this underneath. So this will be looped quite often. And then in the meantime, while this is just kind of, well, here's what we'll do, so I don't have to keep writing this bass line, is just I will write continue bass. That's what you'll usually see in little sketches like these. And even though there's nothing going on up top, you still have to put a repeat sign if you're writing it out like this. But it makes more sense like this. Let me refresh the stream real quick. Okay, so we have this. That's going to continue along this line. In the meantime, and this is also going to be, I got to put E keyboard or E piano, just to kind of indicate that that's the voice. Because now we have to start writing in like, okay, well, it's going to be some sort of, well, I shouldn't even put this. God damn it, I always click that button. We should just put synth. Because we don't really know if it's going to be an electric piano sound or what it's going to be. We have no idea. So, continuing on with this, I just want to, you know, I keep testing this out thinking it's going to make a difference, and it really doesn't. We might try up some different lighting settings at some point here. Anyways, that's going to continue on, right? In the meantime, we're going to have, I'm going to write strings, which you can barely see, but that's okay. I will fix this by Monday. Because I have a mic stand that I'm going to be using to put this webcam on here. And it's going to be nice. I'm excited to start using that. Anyways. So the strings, I don't know how we want to start the strings. Just maybe. Maybe that. Something like that. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, we also have to put a tempo mark in. Well, let's figure that out. Let's figure out our tempo marking. I'm so glad that I downloaded this app. Anyways. No. Do. Yeah, I think that's about right to me. That's basically quarter note equaling 178. I think that's about right. This will, I think I mentioned this before. I'm not sure if it was this piece or if it was a different one that I wrote, or this project or another one. This will eventually probably be written out in 6/8. Yeah, I have a feeling this will end up being written out in 6/8, and maybe I should start by doing that. You know what I mean? So let's just, since I haven't written that much yet, let's write it in 6/8, and let's erase this. Actually, we don't have to. What we can do, I mean, you would never write it like this, but just as a reference for myself, I'm going to write it like this, where the 8th note equals it. So bum 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 boo doo 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 doo. So the way that you would write this out in 6/8 is slightly different. We'd write it out like this. Boo boo doo doo, doo boo doo doo, doo boo doo doo, doo boo doo doo. Or actually, no, maybe you wouldn't write it out like that. Ba 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 ba. Da 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 da. No, you know, thinking about it again, I like to change my mind a lot. I'm just gonna write it in 3/4. I think it's fine. If it needs to be adjusted later, it needs to be adjusted later, but oh well. A lot of erasing going on today, but that's fine. It's a good thing I just grabbed a new pencil for this. Yeah, that'll be fine. Anyways, we have... Oh, I turned the volume down. Meanwhile, all of that's going on. Right. So we have that kind of built in. So what is going on here is this chord is being played, and it goes 1, 2, 3, dun 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 dun. So I wrote that out wrong. And you know what? I'm going to move this over slightly because I wrote strings there and it's in the way. So we have this, and then this, and then this is a natural. So it's basically an F diminished chord. And I will write F diminished for myself just so that I can see that that's what that is. Right? So we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And every measure, it's being played like that. And this actually isn't even quarter notes. This is just straight up dotted halves. Like that. Oh God, that's horrible. That's horribly written out, but it's okay. Dun, 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 dun. 1, 2, 3. So it's basically that. And I'm gonna write this to kind of show that the bass line is continuing. Until I write out a change, it will continue, right? So this is being played. Well, let's think about this. So that's just being held. So I'm gonna write held in one of those, right? So I don't have to keep tying. It's gonna look like a mess because I can continue just being like tie to the next one, tie to the next one, tie to the next one, right? And I don't see the point in that. So we're gonna have another bar with strings and synth going on, right? And then we're gonna write here the next three. Something like this. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit of an idea of what exactly this is going to look like, right? And the important thing is that everything is building up. And actually, now I have to write it like this. Everything is building up, so we're not ever getting rid of notes. We're simply just building on top of. You know, these are not. Even though I don't write them out every single time. The arrow here and the arrow here, I don't write these out every single time. It's always building up stuff until I say that it's off, which you will write something like notes or like string cut off or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm just going to do this to get ready. Anyways, so for two measures, it's going to be like that. And then we're going to have this. This. I don't know why I wrote it that way. It should be stem's gotta be the other way. Like this. Like that. Right? And then this is gonna be held continuously. So held into next repeat. Which means like essentially go back here. So it's going to be like this. So this is going to continue, and then at some point I'll play this. No, maybe I only want that once. I think I want it twice, though. This is also, I should mention, this is a vamp. So, I mean, this can go on until I feel like it's time. This is just twice. You write 2 times. Or you could just say follow repeat. Doesn't really matter. Either way will work. Anyways, continuing on from that. So, we have this vamp going on, right? And then here, we're going to start to... Just going to do this so that we know that this is going to be held. Well, I'll tell you what. This I'm going to rewrite this. Because now it's going to include this E flat. Yeah, definitely. So this is the bass, which will continue. And at some point, the bass is going to shift from to one long continuous thing. At some point. Not doing it quite yet, but at some point it will. And then this... Right. With a flat like this. The dots should all be on one side, I know, but no, you can't really even see the dots, so we'll put them on one side like that. So that's going to be held like that. In the meantime, this is going to be going on. I shut off the freaking piano. Do 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 do, which are duplets. They look like this. Right, and we're going to put 2. Well, that wouldn't make any sense. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, da, da, da. 1, 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. No, it's not. It would be duplets if we were in 6/8, but we're not in 6/8. So this would be written out like this, as dotted quarters, like that, right? I turned off the freaking, come on, bro, work with me a little bit here. Do like this, and then this is going to be held. And this will be repeated a couple times before we move on to the next section. Okay. So, in total, we have kind of these 3 spots, right, where the music is going to build. Now, the repeats and when they build and all that stuff, that's going to change over time. However, the main stuff going on, I turn it off again. The do-do-do-do, that will continuously go along with, and then that's going to start up. That's going to be the next section. So we're going to have this. Here, I'll do this. And then and this will vamp. So this is just vamping. And then eventually that'll come in. And then maybe I'll repeat it. And then we're changing it. We might even change it to that. Like, it's just all gonna be this building. And while all this is being held, there's just gonna be this kind of like melody line starting up, right? Because right now there is no melody. There's just these. And then the next part's gonna start. And then all of a sudden bass line is now gonna be this. Voodoo, doo-doo. This. That's going to continue. Basically for the rest of the thing. Right. And what we're going to do to kind of simplify things here is we're just going to write... Nah. Let's keep it this way. Okay. We could even do something like change... Nah, we won't do that, but... You even should do 1, 2, 3, 4. Do. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what makes more logical sense. Okay. So now we have this next part. We've gone from so that might be the new melody. just kind of brainstorming now of how we're going to develop this melody. Because I eventually want to get into this key. Something like that, but see, now I think at this point what I'm doing there is almost like a song in the same game, but not the same song, if that makes sense. I think that this is a good overture. And maybe we will end up cutting out the to just but anyways, we're gonna have this held, which is going to be this. We won't write like that. Ugh. My writing is like seriously diminishing here. Okay, this. There we go. Right? And then we have this B natural and this. And this is a 4-measure thing, right? Just writing that so that I know it's going to be held for 4 measures. And then the same thing is going to happen here. Well, for the most part. Bassline's going to continue. I'm going to even write just bassline so that I know that it's going to continue on. Ooh. I clicked the not right button to refresh the stream. Hold on 1 minute. Let's try to get that fixed. That didn't do anything? There we go. Okay. So we have the next one's simple. We're not changing it up too much. So it's A flat, it's B natural, it's D flat, and it's F. Okay. And that'll also be held. We'll put dots next to them so you know. Do one of these, put dots next to them so you know that they're held for the whole thing. This is also a 4-measure thing. Okay. The next ones are 2 only. Do. And these are 1. Okay. So the next one is this, which is a completely different. This is really deviating from the norm here. I guess the best way that I can write this out is this, with a flat. It's an F flat, which is such a gross freaking thing. And this is 2 measures. Okay. Then we're going to slide down here, and each one of these are now, there's 3 more. Okay. And then we're going to come to a double bar line, and we're going to continue to repeat this for a while. Not sure how long yet, but it's going to go from here to, yep, I definitely like that more, to this. Natural, B natural, D flat, and G flat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Yeah, the more and more I'm thinking about this, it actually should be in 4 probably. At least when it changes, it's a this should be in 4, I think. And we'll just write in triplets for a lot of the stuff. But because this is a triplet feel. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. I don't know. What's best to do with that? So that, and then just a very simple chord. It's just D flat, and then A natural and G natural. Like that. And then this is 4 measures as well. And this is a pretty simple one too. It's just A flat, D flat, and E flat. Boom. Okay, so we have that part right now. Nice. So what this is going to sound like is this. And then we're going to move on. Now, I don't know what exactly we will move on to, but let's just play what we have in its entirety right now. So, what we have is just a series of building spots, which is starts with, and eventually we're going to start playing this. And then maybe we will take it down a notch to something like that. Maybe we'll dial it back. That'll be like a big climax in the song where maybe something happens that would warrant something like that. If so, again, this whole project was supposed to be a space travel-y type song, right? So say you're on this spaceship. Say this is supposed to be written for a video game, right? And there's a cutscene, and the cutscene is you walking around the spaceship, first person type of deal. You wake up with the type of thing going on. All this stuff is building as you're kind of looking around the spaceship, right? Just this. You're looking outside. And then it's almost like you're in wonder of where you're at, but you all of a sudden get something triggers in your head where you're like, oh, I gotta go do something. So then you change your mood, and now all of a sudden you get to this. You're back to this, really quiet, as you're walking through the halls of this ship. And then you hear the first chord when a window pops up on your left or right or wherever. You're walking through these halls, right? Just trying to get to where you got to get to. Really nice and calm. We won't even use the pedal. All of a sudden, the first chord rolls in, and it's on the left side. There's a window into space, and you see it again, and that wonder kind of slowly seeps back in. And then all of a sudden, that could be the main theme. And then we can build on it even more. And then with that whole thing. And that's the whole build up as you're walking through, and then you enter a big room in the spaceship, and you see all the stuff, and then it slowly starts going down back to like that. And then it turns out the alert that I was talking about, that is on your console in the spaceship or wherever. And that's when you finally this. And you answer it. The song's right. Wouldn't that be like a cool painted like a scenario? I don't know. That's what I'm envisioning when I'm writing stuff like that. Like when I think of. So I don't remember who it was that gave me the idea, but someone had just said you should write something for like space, and I'm like, okay, how about like space travel? And so I started looking up things like Mass Effect and all this Star Trek Wars, all that stuff, to just get an idea. And this kind of came into fruition, I guess you could say. And I like it, actually. I like it a lot. So now we have to figure out. I just rattled off all this stuff, but how is it going to connect with everything? We're at this point now that it's. So now what? Do we just stop? Do we do what we said? We just build. We build, and then we get to a point where I can write something like last time. Triple Forzando ridiculous. Triple F, and then I can also write like that in, right? So, well, here's what we'll do. We can do this. Last time through the repeat, and this will be. I wrote that in a really shitty spot though. So it's right up top, right? So last time, and we can write this in. Like this. Like that. Do, and then it gets cut off, right? And then all of a sudden we're at this. 3 P's. Bassline's continuing. I'll rewrite the bassline because it's such a change in tone that we should rewrite the bassline at this point. I've been not rewriting the bassline because it's just been the same thing over and over again, so I just wrote bassline and put an arrow and all that stuff. Oh, actually that's wrong. So we're going to continue. with this. And it's just going to be the bass line. Continuing on with that, right? So what we'll do is this. Vamp it. And this next part is just going to continue with the bass line. It's the arrows are for constantly. Refresh the stream real quick. And so we have this. Building that, okay. So, what we have essentially is the way that this melody is being played out is I'm rolling that chord, and what that chord is this. And this will be the first bit of melody that's going to be played. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be, I'm going to just write 3 times. Held. When I write that, I just mean like that you're just going to be doing the same thing for those 3. I'm not going to go. I'm just going to roll it. And this will also be rolled, so we got to do one of those things. I don't know if you've ever seen that in music. If you want to roll a chord, you do like a swiggly, like a little, like one of these. Like that, next to the chord. And that indicates that you're rolling the chord. So, while this is going on, and then meanwhile, this chord's probably going to be played the whole time. We have to fill out everything, right? So, now is the first time I'm going to write some ties. So 1, 2, 3, doon doon doo doo doon, doo doo doon doon doo doo doo. So actually, no, I'm not. Now we're just gonna write melody, so as not to confuse what I'm writing with like that's all that's being played, right? So that basically it's by saying that this is the melody, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? I'm still holding a chord. There's still probably chords down here that are being played. So it all depends on how the software is going to work and how filled out the sound is going to sound, essentially. So this goes dun dun da da da. 1, 2, 3, and 1. It's supposed to be G flat. Looks more like an F. It's tough from this angle to see exactly what I'm doing. Do 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 do. And this will go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, do do do. Again, 3 times, and then pretty simple. Na 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 na. Da 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 do do. And that I think will be probably the main melody. It's simple enough that it's not, you know what I mean? It's not. It's simple. It's nothing too crazy. Everyone can follow it. It has to be simple. It has to be recognizable. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is only going to be 2 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Dun, So we're gonna do this. It's really gross, I know, but dun 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 dun. So this will be, and this is flatted, and this is not flatted. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 and 1. So this is this tied to an eighth note, which would then go to this. Or no, that's not even the right fucking note. And then this, which will then be held for 4 times. And repeat. So that it sounds something like this. And then maybe we'll double it. Like that. And that's when we'll build that part in. So what we'll write is like, you know, whatever. And then double melody after. I'll just write a while. I don't know how else to clarify that, but just double the melody after a while. Really build it up. Continue building. And then here is where we're going to write the next section of this. So now there's probably going to be some sort of pickup, like something like that, right? But what I'm going to write for now is just, I'll just write pickup. At some point we will write a pickup. And what this is going to look like, do, 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 and then this. Actually, what we can do is, even before that, is write 3 times. And then this. And this will repeat. And then the song is going to eventually be over here at like in the next section, right? So I like that sound, actually. Yeah, I like how that sounds. That's actually kind of cool. So what this is do 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 do. It's G flat. It's C flat. Which I'm writing C flat because we're writing this out with the G flat, so it makes sense. Do 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 do. Do do like that, right? Fuck, you can't even see that. Like that, right? And then it's really just all going down from here. Shit. You actually have to write this up top this time. That's a natural as well. Like that. And then how was I going to write this? So So the middle notes are going or the bottom note is going because another important thing about writing out stuff like this is you want it to sound like you are having lines going on. It's important to have it sound like you're creating a bit of a line in the inner voicings. It sounds more interesting, more natural that way. Okay, so we have that, and this should just be the exact same thing, except I don't have to write in naturals. Should be the exact same thing. Right. And then we're just right back to where we were. Now, it will probably be down a half step. It will not be. Or it will probably be down an octave and won't be up here. It won't be. It'll be. All of this stuff actually has to be down a half step, but I will catch that at some point. And then I'll write this in just so there's no real confusion. Or I keep saying half step. It has to go down an octave because if I'm writing it out how I'm writing it out now, it would be up here. It should be down there. These are right. But that's not. And even in the beginning, it's down here, not. And I don't think it sounds good high. So now we have to pick this part, which goes like this. it is actually. Yeah, you know what? I'm turning off the thing because I can't stand keep constantly hitting this. This, and then this is a flat. Like that. Right? If I were to play that, it's this. And I am aware that, especially like in this area, there's clashing. This clashes, and I want it to. That's the point. So, we have this, and then we have this. It is a D flat, G flat, A flat, and D flat again. Like so. Can we, like, do this with this? This is, like, really starting to get in the way. There we go. Okay. So that, right? Boo. And then we have, this doesn't change much, but it changes enough. So now we have an A flat, and then we have, now I have to write a double flat, and this is gonna suck. Well, I suppose not. No, it's probably better if I just write a double flat. It's a C double flat. This is not keeping with... It's changing keys, so like you would change the keys along with it, but I don't really want to do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being weird. Anyways, these are naturals, and then we have a G flat that's fine, and then a B. How the hell did I write that? Yeah. Perfect. Right, and then this, which is this is a natural, this, and this is a flat, like that. And then we have dun, 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 dun. So these are basically just being played again. Like this. And over top of it we have this flat. This is going to look real strange, but I will know what I'm talking about. Like that. So that it goes like this. That's not even right. So dun, 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 dun. Back to the top. I'm starting to like that more. Yeah, I like that more. I don't know why. I just do. And all that is this first one is spelled out like that. So instead of it's right, and that will continue and continue and continue until we get to a point where we will do something like so. And what I'm going to write for that little section is this. Play. So we're going to do this for baseline. I'm going to just write, just in words, play different inversions of this D flat 9 chord, right, and then going down, and one of these, and that. This is like really shittily written music. Shittily, that's a word as well. I mean, it's just written out how I would be able to interpret it. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. And then at some point, it will be just bass, and then at some point it will go back to this. Fade out. Right? And this will be like this. Again, so there isn't any confusion on what particular bass line I'm playing at that point. Okay. So the ending will sound something like... That's how it will end. Okay? So, what am I going to do with this? Now, I'm going to play through kind of what I'm thinking this is going to sound like. And it's going to be a little strange, and you're going to have to bear with me here because there are going to be points where I'm not going to just be able to play everything right as it's written out, and I'm going to also take a lot of liberties with it. But I'm going to give you kind of a general idea of what I want it to sound like. Okay? I've also been playing this way too fast. like that. Now, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't exactly how it's going to probably end up. I'm thinking of getting rid of the, at the beginning, this. I don't know how much that helps. That might just get included with the part, which is there. But, you know, coming from an outside looking in, looking at how I've written this out may seem very strange, but it's basically just a roadmap to kind of, for me, so that when I can put it into an editing software, it would make more sense to me. Instead of writing it out exactly how it is, I'm going to need a lot more direction, so that's why I've written in some things to make it have more sense. I like how this sounds, and I think that this could lead to being kind of what I was hoping it would be. And I actually kind of think it would be cool to write kind of like, I guess like an entire soundtrack based off of just this one theme. And that might be something that I would do in like the upcoming future. It's just to like write something based off of this, because I feel like I have a lot of ideas for this to eventually go into. You know, I feel like I have some ideas for this. But for now, we've finalized this project number 2. This is something I would be ready to put in to an editing software and start messing around with, basically, with different sounds and different ideas of what this would be. So I'm excited to start using this. So now we have to move on to a third project, which we have laid out. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm not sure how much longer I will stream. What I'll probably do with the remaining time that I have. Actually, you know what? Let's not take a break. Let's just go straight through. Let's kind of discuss the next project and what we might want to do with it and how we might want to build it, and listen to a few things from there. So, new page. Go ahead and write project 3. And if you remember what project 3 was, I think I've been writing them out. Yeah. This was the Doom, the video game Doom, boss fight, or I'll just put level music. Now, what we will do from here on out is you got to start writing. I think I did it for the first one too. I'm pretty sure. I didn't really. Well, I have to do it for this one, for sure. Is we got to start writing some grand staffs out. It makes it so much easier to be able to write one of those out. No idea. So, have that. This is actually an E minor, so 1 sharp. And I wrote this in 6/8. Yep. One of those beautiful things right there. With a bass line going something like. But that's how it sounded, right? Pretty simple. Something that I would hear in Doom, I feel like. I just think of the first level in Doom, and I'm like, that fits it perfectly. That's the basic idea, though. I didn't really write anything else. Anything else too interesting with this. So we really have to... This one's going to take some time to develop and to come up with. So what we're going to do now is listen to a few of the original Doom soundtrack, just to get an idea. So let's just listen. Here's the very first song, and this one is what I thought of when I played this. Right, everyone knows that. So something like this. Oops, I turned the volume all the way down. And you can kind of do like kind of a soloing thing. You want it to be kind of crazy. So while this bass stuff is going on, you and obviously this would be like some kind of guitar. I kind of like that. So that might be something that I write in on this like rough copy. Is this deep? Which is something that would be in the treble clef. There's my treble clef, isn't it awesome? And this would be up an octave. I'll put 8V just so that I know, or 8VA, which is octave, 8 octave. And it goes 1 2 3 1 2 da. So this would be like a pickup on the and, like this. Something like that. So, I'm just gonna write it like this and not, because I don't know the exact rhythm like off the top of my head. Because again, I'm not the best like musical syntax person to talk to. So I'm gonna write it like this. And I know it's like this. That's a natural. And then it's oh. So this actually is like this. And then da-boo-doo. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Like that. So And then we move on. But I mean, just listening to any of the Doom songs, you get that kind of feeling. But you kind of get it. Like, a lot of them are decently fast paced. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. But they're all like kind of, especially just the first one. The first one especially. And obviously, we would then add the weird, you know, all that stuff. But it would be like a guitar of some kind. But I actually like this electric piano sound for this too. You know, something weird like that. You can go like nuts with this stuff. That's the cool thing about Doom music, is you can really like. It's pretty simple, right? I'm not. It's just an E minor. It's like nothing like crazy. I mean, eventually I go to A minor. Ooh, I get rid of a sharp, but like, it's simple, but it just sounds so. It's just so crazy because there's stuff going on, and it's an intense feeling, especially when you get into like the levels in hell. Like, what's a good one? This is apparently a waltz, so let's see if it's in 3/4. I mean, it's in 3/4, but that's not exactly what I expected. What's this one? See, that's close. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's where it sounds. That's where it's coming from. Listen to it again. So obviously, something like this has to have a real intense drum something. I mean, the groove in this has to be crazy, you know. And this is just the bass line too. I mean, we have to come up with some sort of like. This is not going to be the melody. That'll be. At some point, we'll change into something. Something weird. Maybe we do something like that. Yeah, and now that we have the different technology to do different, do more than just like, I mean, you can hear it. It sounds like weird and it's so 8-bit. Now you can change it into different things, and you can add different stuff to it too. Like you don't have to make it just E minor. You can make it A, and then I was going to B minor, and then doing weird like tritone substitutions to get back to E minor and stuff. So that will all be added onto this as well, and that's going to be fun to play around with. Let me just refresh the stream real quick because I gotta. So as far as adding that into like a final copy of this, we really need to. Oh boy, what happened to the stream? Should still be working. Okay, cool. As far as adding this to some sort of like final build, you know what I mean? It's really gonna depend on a few things. I just wanna. I'm sorry. I gotta check something out here real quick. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I'm excited for how this is shaping out. I'm gonna have to cut the stream a little short today. So we're gonna have to close things out for today. If you haven't already, please hit follow. Helps me out. Keeps me wanting to come back and play for you guys and stream my, the writing process and stuff, because I like doing this, and I enjoy doing it for people that want to see it. So hit follow. I stream pretty much every day. I've skipped a few days every once in a while. I'm trying to just keep it consistent and stream every single day, at least for a couple hours. During the weekdays, I'll be streaming for at least 4 or 5. I stream from the morning, usually from 9 Eastern time in the morning till around 1 or 2 from Monday through Friday. And then weekends are going to be a little different. And I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If we get a decent enough following, I'll start streaming twice a day and doing a night stream where I can stream games and stuff. So I'm not just... because that's what Twitch is all about, is playing games. I like playing games on stream. So, that's kind of the whole goal of the thing. So, that's going to leave it... we're going to leave it there for myself. Turn that off. And, yeah, like I said, if you like it, hit follow. I appreciate it. And I will leave you with the ending of the song that I started the stream off with. Oh, there it is. Thank you very much for the follow. I really appreciate that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream will be at either 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern time, just so you know. And it'll go for a few hours. So thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow.